Hello YouTube. Okay, we're back. I'm building the Paulk Workbench, and we're talking about the holes. I just went over my magic method of using basically a template. Shouldn't say so much a template as a jig, though it's tough to call scraps of wood a jig. But that's my method for getting them lined up this way. Now, I have to get my next row. So I finished this row, I'm going to do another row across. Yep, another row across. I'm doing the benches one giant bench instead of two 2-foot wide benches. So I'm going to run one support up the middle when all said and done. I hope that works out. I've reached around in YouTube, in internet's land. Can't find anybody who did that. I know people have done it. I just wanted information on whether or not there was 2 spars up the middle of one, but we'll see. I'm going to put one. Now, am I still in frame here? Yeah, I am. Great. This is a stop block that I use as my starting point to get all my holes, and I will use this on every row. If there's any problems, errors that mitigate down, I shouldn't say mitigate, that migrate down, as long as I consistently do this across the entire bench, any of my problems will stay lined up. So at most, I'm supposed to be 6 inches off on my first hole. I might be 6 inches off at the end. I might be 5 7/8 off. That's okay. But how to move this, the fence, to get to the next row. I was going to do the math and put a ruler on there and try and figure it all out, and then I said, screw that, there's a better way. First thing I'm going to do is take off my stop block, put that down for a minute. I'm going to temporarily, to mark where the fence is now, I'm going to take a couple of my spacers and just temporarily clamp them in place. And just make sure that they're kind of butted up neatly. And they're going to show me where the fence is now. And if I drop out of frame for a second, I apologize. I'm doing the same thing at the other end. Okay. I use these blocks to identify where the fence was, at least for the last row. Now I want to nudge that fence forward. How much? Well, the holes are all 4 inches on center. That's their separation. 4 inches this way and 4 inches that way. So all I have to do is move the fence 4 inches. Easiest way to do that is mark where the fence was, and I do that with a stop block. And then unclamp my magic fence. Use my 4-inch block. And just nudge it up 4 inches. I'm going to do this on both sides. Once I get it straight, I'm going to just check at the other end. Sorry to be hopping around in and out of frame. So I check 4 inches, good. 4 inches. I think I'm just about there. I'm going to clamp this side. Cutting down to the other end. I'm going to clamp that side. I've now moved over 4 inches. All I have left to do is take the same stop block that I used for all these other rows, clamp it to the end of the new row. Now remember, these I clamped on before just to show me where the fence was. Now I moved it 4 inches forward. And with that, I'm pretty much all set to start my next row. Checking that I'm not going to work my way into something else. I have a bunch of scrap under here. Ideally, I have some foam under here, like rigid foam, which is a nice sacrificial material to use. Only thing I worry about with the rigid foam is if it gets hot, it melts. So, for example, I've cut it with a circular saw, the rigid foam. You start to get an accumulation of melted foam on the blade, which makes the blade sticky. If I ruin the bit, I'd be annoyed. So, I've moved the fence 4 inches. I bring my router in for the first cut. I make sure I'm against the fence this way. I make sure I'm against my stop block. Everything's lined up. I'm going to power up the router. I have the router set at like medium to high speed, not full high. A couple of notches off that. I'd say a little bit faster than dead medium. When you're taking out 3/4 inch, you're beating it up. So going too fast is just going to burn your bit out faster. So take your time with the speed setting. It takes longer to drill the holes, but they come out nice and you can keep working. I'll show you how I work my way through the first hole, and I'll show you how I put the next spacer in for the second hole. Comments, concerns, questions, put them in. Thank you.